Potential this, potential that. What's the route to that for Jalen Green this season, Erik? Let's talk about it.
Psychos and sickos unite for a potential edition of Bet365. Oh my goodness. PHNX Suns presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHNX365. Deposit 10. Place a bet for 5 and get $200 in bonus bets. I'm Erik, or I'm Bet365. I don't really know. At this point, I'm joined, of course, as always, by Steven. We got old Freckle Mamba, a.k.a. Jerseyton, behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. And, of course, we have all of you in the chat hanging out with us, Matt, Sean, Kev, and company. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. So many of y'all already hitting that like button. Double-digit likes already. We appreciate all of you as we inch closer to the second preseason game of the Phoenix Suns preseason. That is Friday morning. We will have breakfast with the boys. We will have a post-game show following their 5 o'clock tip-off in Macau, China. They touch down in China, but we're looking up today into the sky as far as where is Jalen Green's potential. Steven, you did what you do best, and you broke down basketball, and you talked hoop, and you had my personal favorite film study that you've done, breaking down Jalen Green's playoff woes against the Golden State Warriors, diving into the why, the what, the where, and the how of it all. That is up on our YouTube channel right now. Exclusive segment for diehards, which they've been eating up as well. What would you want to share from that before we get into all the details and stuff today on why a Suns fan or a basketball fan should go watch that breakdown of Jalen Green's game?
I would say, for one, because you can be easily swayed by discourse and people that are speaking with some semblance of an objective that they're trying to speak towards, and it might not always be what aligns with the truth. And the truth is, this kid is 23 years old, bro.
That is a fact.
The man is 23 years old with all of this upside in terms of his offensive potential. That's something that can be harnessed, nurtured, and then built around. You don't stumble across people with that talent at that age often. The other part of it for me, too, is it's one thing to speak about someone's mistakes. It's another thing to assess the lay of the land around them, why certain mistakes are made. Were the mistakes that they made their fault in process, or was it a fault in process of the ecosystem they're operating in? Or is it just that they're going up against a team that's really freaking good and individual players that are really good at what they do? So there's a lot of that context that was ignored by, it feels like people were putting a period at the end of their sentence and writing Jalen Green off for a 23-year-old that just got done averaging his career high in points and has shown a potential to be a number one. Far too hasteful for me.
No, he's not perfect. And I think you could absolutely admit that as well. We'll talk about his strengths. We'll talk about his weaknesses, what he has room to improve for. When we talked to him at Media Day, we asked him what he worked on in his game. You asked him how he fits in Jordan Ott's system. Brian Gregory talked about how they're going to play and how that might impact Jalen. We're going to get into all of that, but I think a very fitting place to start is what your film study was on, which was the playoffs. Now, we're going to have a great conversation here, but you still need to go check out the film study. Like, that's a non-negotiable as a Suns fan. It's incredible stuff. And if you didn't know, Steven's got film studies for a lot of people already on this roster. Nigel Hayes-Davis, Oso Iguodala, Ryan Dunn, Kaman Malawach, Rasheer Fleming, Kobe Brea, just to name a couple. If you've missed them this offseason, you definitely need to go check all of that out. But let's start with the playoff series. So we'll bring the context, but first let's bring the stats. The 2024-2025 playoffs, one round against the Golden State Warriors as the Going into the series, the top leading scorer on the 2 seed in the West, Jalen Green averaged 13.3 points per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, shooting 37.2% from inside the arc, 29.5% from deep, and 66.7% from the free throw line. While I agree with you, Steven, that there is context to everything, and you got to understand why those stats happened, not a good playoff debut from Jalen Green last year against Golden State in round 1.
It wasn't. And I think some of it is most score first guards don't always have the best initial playoff showing, because game planning for said star leaps from, we know he's good, so we're going to steer the wheel a certain direction, to no, we're exhausting every bit of your game. We know how many dribbles you like to take before getting to a shot at this spot. We know that you can make these passes with your right hand that you maybe can't do as accurately or with as much zip as you do with your left. We know what your discernment and decision-making is when you are seeing bodies in the crowd versus if you see a lane that's open. It gets down to the nitty-gritty. We know how many times you're tying your shoe a game. And
Bradley Beal a lot.
And that's why I was throwing that lob in there. But genuinely, that's what a game plan in a playoff series against a top-tier talent, if you're steering the wheel for your team, guys get paid to figure out how to poke at things to take you out of your rhythm, if not take you completely out of your game. And needless to say, the Golden State Warriors are the standard in the NBA for many reasons. They have individual players that are that, but they also have a coaching staff that's been steering that as well.
Would you say that was maybe the worst potential matchup
100%.
for Jalen Green
100%.
in round 1? Not just the Rockets. Let's just only Jalen Green and how he plays basketball. Draymond Green, Steve Kerr, that defense that they had, Jimmy Butler as well. That's the worst possible matchup that he could have run into.
I believe so, because at that time, I think post All-Star break, Golden State was one of the best defenses. And when they got Jimmy Butler specifically, they had been just flat out the best defense in the league. The only other team that could rival Houston on the defensive end was Golden State. And they went about it very differently. But Golden State being a no-middle team for a player that likes to spend a lot of time in the middle, but also for a player that's on a team that doesn't have the best spacing context around them, and they don't play with a certain type of tempo that puts them in position to keep advantages. It was a match made in the absolute opposite of heaven for Jalen in particular. And it forced him to naturally learn a lot, but I think also Houston learned a lot about their approach needing to be much better going forward too.
I think it's interesting when you look at how Houston played offense and how you beat Golden State is kind of death by 1,000 cuts. You're not gonna go on one big massive run and just get something easily, especially on a singular offensive possession. You got to be extremely smart and extremely potent with your ball movement to beat Golden State, who has incredible individual defenders. And I know people talk about, but like Steph and Buddy Hield, it's like Steph is really strong.
And he's also very smart, man.
And he's very smart. Now,
he's
Buddy Hield,
exploitable.
Yeah,
but he has his moments.
But again, you have a good, smart guard in Steph Curry, who's extremely strong. And you have Draymond, you have Jimmy, and you have Steve Kerr, who's a really good coach. The Houston Rockets passed the ball the least amount in the NBA.
By far.
Last season. They had the lowest assists per game. And when you get to the playoffs where you don't get to play in transition as much, where you don't get to play fast, you are having to focus on ball movement and everything, that's going to shine even brighter. Yep. That being said, I think it's also fair to look at Jalen Green and look at him as, hey, you are a dynamic scoring option, right? You are the guy on this team. You're young, but you've been in the league for a couple of years. You should hopefully still perform at least a little bit better than what he did. Well, I do think there is some explanation for why the numbers look like the way that they did. You would hope in an ideal world that no matter what the matchup is, you're the leading scorer on a 2 seed, you're able to perform better in the playoffs.
Yep, that's also very true. And I think that's where a part of the growth comes from, because I think there's a quote from Ime Udoka post-series where I think it might have been in exit interviews, and he was asked about assessing Jalen's showing against the Golden State Warriors. And Ime essentially said, there's a growth point where an individual player starts to not try to go against the grain with the coverages that they're seeing, but you start to accept it. And when you start to accept it is when you start to see multiple avenues to counter punching. And the best top tier talents are counter punchers. You see a lot of attention. How can I go about playing chess with this? So for Jalen in his context, if he's seeing a lot of attention, are you just getting off of it just because you're getting extra attention? Or are you controlling and starting to manipulate things? And that's what we got to in the film session.
Yeah. What could he have done better when manipulating the game? How could he have done better against the Golden State Warriors?
I think the first thing for me is setting the tone on the terms of play as a lead guard. And this is something that comes with maturation, with time, naturally with experience more than anything else. And that's what he was extended in that first round series. For Jalen Green, one of the biggest things that I looked at was timing on passes. So there's one thing to throw it to someone when they're open. Are you throwing it to them when it's going to be the most advantageous for not just that player, but the rest of the teammates around them to be successful? So Jalen Green gets double teamed, not a full out blitz, but he's holding the attention of multiple defenders. That means that there's one person unaccounted for because it's 4-on-3 outside of that. Assessing that, deciding when you're going to get off the pass, but what you're doing before you get off the pass is important. There's a flattening and then stretching process when you get extra attention. If you can control the pieces on the chessboard with the timing of what you're doing dribble-wise, and then when you decide to get off the ball, you can create more of an advantage than what's already being conceded based off of the numbers with you having two players on you. And it gets to a point where players like a Chris Paul, players like even more so a Devin Booker that's more akin to Jalen Green starts to control that, and then you get to manipulating it. And that's where Jalen's next step in growth is, particularly with his decision-making.
Yeah, Muhammad kind of follows up with that and just says, Green needs more basketball IQ. The Warriors defense locked him up. You need to use your head, young fella, to avoid them and make your shots. Like that, yes, that's true. Everything you said is true. And again, you know, I think a lot of people will look at kind of my opinion on Jalen Green now and they'll be like, Erik, you switched up. Which is fine if you want to think that. It is what it is.
But that's what the smartest people do.
The thing is, I wouldn't say like overarchingly, I'm like, wow, Jalen Green is literally the complete opposite of what I thought he was before.
For sure.
But you look at the situation, you say, does he need to do that? Yes. Was that a really tough situation for him? Yes. Was the team that he was on not equipped to deal with that? Yes. Could he not improve? Could he just plateau? Could he be one of those young guys that kind of is who he is and that's it? And you're always saying, oh, but what if? Oh, but what if? What if? What if? Yes, that's on the table. But when you start breaking down his strengths, his weaknesses, and where the Suns can help him improve, I just on my own am starting to believe more in this fit. And obviously we haven't seen him play basketball yet. So a lot of this, it's conjecture, right? It's guessing, but it's informative guessing. It's educated guessing. And what we're going to do is tell you the strengths, the weaknesses, the room for improvement, what Brian Gregory and Jalen Green himself had to say about what he's been working on, how he can fit in, and so much more. We're going to get into all of it.
Real quick. The best people in this media space accept that they're not always right. And the learning part that comes with, okay, I wasn't right. Let me go inform myself and then change my perspective on it. It's okay to admit that. Like, I don't know where we got to this point where everyone has to be right all the time. No one's ever right all the time. Coaches are not right all the time. Players are not right all the time. Well, Aryton's right because that's his job. But
yeah.
The point I'm making is it's okay to admit you're wrong, go and inform yourself, and then change your opinion. That's okay. I promise it's okay. It's going to make you smarter because of that.
I'm really glad you've come to terms with the fact that game one was a must-win, critical
that
do or
is
die.
Not where we came from on that.
Preseason game.
That's
big of you, man. That's growth. Aryton, that's growth. Are we not proud of SPG over here? I mean, it feels good that he's willing to admit that finally.
You love to see it. You do.
You do love to see it.
I hate to break it to both of y'all, but that is not what I was
I can't wait for the must-win meter, man. I can't wait for the must-win meter. It's going to be awesome.
Lucas, no, I'm not right all the time. I'm not right all the time. Nope.
Clip it.
I mean, last season.
Please, for the love of God,
last season, I said Phoenix, I didn't think they were going to be like a top 5 seed, but I thought they were going to make the playoffs. And up until
I think we all had the.
I mean, but even up
wins.
until March, I felt like they were going to find a way to eke themselves into the play-in round. And then at that point, you roll the dice and potentially end up in the first round. So I've been wrong before. Been wrong before, and I'll be the first to admit it for sure.
I like that. I don't even want to hit a break anymore. Just keep it rolling on that. Listen, there are strengths and there are weaknesses, and they aren't wrong. I think we're pretty spot on with them. We're going to get to those and so much more on the PHNX Suns presented by Bet365 right after this break. Some of you need to chill out and admit that you're wrong, and that's okay because Pure Edibles is here to help you do that, because sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's not a tough gummy to chew with Pure Edibles, because they're not just covered in sugar and tasting like weed like all their other competitors. Absolutely not. They taste delicious, whether they're gummies, kicks, which is their version of Starburst, chews, or hard candies, and they're clearly listed. All the effects are listed on that tin, so you know exactly what to expect. That's the worst part with edibles, is that you don't know what to expect. You get thrown off. You don't enjoy the experience. It's not the same with Pure Edibles. And you can sip it with Noble Road's new Tower Station IPA all in one. It's happy hour all the time with a Mother Road Pure Edibles collab. It's a new crisp citrus, piney hops with Arizona's favorite IPA, but with a smooth THC twist. Go find yourself some of the Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. And like I mentioned, PHNX Suns is presented by Bet365 because we love Bet365. And sometimes you're wrong on Bet365. That doesn't mean they don't have all the opportunities in the world to be right. I'm talking NBA games, W games, NHL, which is just about to be back, NFL, which is back, MLB in the playoffs, college football, college basketball. Bet365 has damn near everything. I guess I'm not proud to admit this, but we're all friends here. I once bet on badminton, Russian badminton at like 1 a.m. in the morning. I put $1 on the underdog and they lost. And I said, that's the last time I'll ever do that. But it's okay, because Bet365 is still here for me. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when you place a bet for $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10. Place a bet for $5, you get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. We got a bunch of people in the chat: Muhammad, DJ, Lucas, Sean, Weedo, Elko, Freckled Mamba, always in the chat. Killer Rex in the chat. What a comeback. My dad in the chat as well. We got all the stars out here. Zeke's in the chat. I guess Steven's in the chat. But you know it's okay. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Everybody, tell us a time that you were wrong in the chat. Like DJ says, I was wrong too. I thought the Phoenix Suns would make the finals last season. Yeah, they made it the final time I wanted to watch basketball.
That's what that cap situation suggested too.
Let's not talk about that. We're talking about a new era of Phoenix Suns. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Become a YouTube member today. If you notice people in the chat with green names and a badge next to your name, well, they get access to exclusive emojis to spam in chat. The more Suns people we add, the more Suns emojis we get. So make sure you join and unlock all sorts of fun emojis for all of our chats as well. Plus, you can become a diehard today. Go phnx.com/join, and you can see Steven's extra film breakdown. Because he already gave 20 minutes to the people, because he's a man of the people. But extra for the diehards. They've been eating it up like it's lunch. And finally, why not come hang out with Anthony Totri and I for a show at Rally House next Friday at 5:30 p.m. in Tempe Marketplace. Come hang out with us. We're giving away $5 $50 Rally House gift cards. Plus, we'll just be hanging out, saying hi as ASU gets ready to take on Texas Tech on the 18th. So come by Friday, October 17th at 5:30 p.m. at the Rally House location in Tempe Marketplace. Steven, let's continue to break down Jalen Green here. Lots of strengths, lots of weaknesses. Let's start with the strengths. What would you say are just 5 to focus on?
Yeah, so strength-wise for Jalen, I think the biggest things for me is that he's a top percentile athlete. That gives him opportunity to do things in situations where others would not be as apt to being successful because of it. He's a scorer, and his attacking mentality is something that's unique from most other players. He has a stubbornness about getting to his spots that is positive and complementary to being a scorer of the likes that he is. He garners extra defensive attention. Double teams are not all created equally. He sees different double teams than Devin Booker does. Devin Booker sees different double teams than Jalen Green does. It's just unique. It's something that you can build an offense around. Pace and change of speed are very important for him.
Yeah.
He's continuing to learn to manipulate the game with the ball in his hands to score because of that. And then the last one for me is being able to find creative opportunities to get to pull-up pockets.
Which of these strengths do you feel like he has the best opportunity to get stronger this season in?
I think it's the attacking mentality. So I think the perfect example when you want to talk about an attacking mentality naturally is Kobe Bean Bryant, the late great. Not comparing those two one to another, but what I'm saying is when you have someone that is in attack mode so consistently, when you can also be someone that is both willing to and adept at playing chess, knowing that people are trying to take away your top tier skill and you have ways to counter punch with that, that's when you go from someone that's good to someone that's really freaking good and almost, if not outright great.
Yeah. I can't help but look at creative finding pull-up pockets because this is a guy who is one of the top shot creators in the NBA, right? Just the shot quality and the percentage of those shots that he was shooting, not great, right? So if he can find better ways to still create the same type of shot, better ways to hit that pull up, to keep the defense honest, because there will be some possessions. As much as we want Jalen Green to attack the rim and shoot a bunch of threes, there are going to be plays where it breaks down. They're going to need Jalen Green to get in his bag and hit a mid-range shot. And if he can find a better way to get a cleaner look, then maybe that percentage ticks up a couple of percentage points. And that makes Jalen Green maybe 2, 3, 4 points per game better on a game-to-game basis. So the creative and finding pull-up pockets is something that he's able to do, but finding a better way to capitalize that. And maybe it's less about where you pull up and more about when and how often you do it. Are you resorting to it, or are you using it as a counter to then maybe build off some of the rest of your game to keep the defense honest in the mid-range? That one specifically has always been drawing my eyes.
There's an example in the film session where he gets a switch against Stephen Curry. Dylan Brooks sets a screen for him, and it's like probably 18 seconds on the clock. He settles for a step back three going to his left. Now that's obviously, like we just got done speaking to, is in his shot-making bag. When you have so many options to your game, being able to refine it and knowing which button to press at which specific time is important. He settled for a step back three with 15 seconds on the clock on that one as the defense was loading up to guard him. And it's like, okay, that's a shot you can make. Is that a shot you know you're going to make?
Yeah.
And I think that subtle tweaking of processing what you're doing and the why behind your decisions is going to do him great with Jordan Knott in this system going forward.
What else on the strengths list? I mean, top percentile athlete, he's not going to lose that. He's the best athlete that's been on the Phoenix Suns since.
I mean, is he the best in recent memory?
Gerald
Green is in that mix.
You say Jalen LeCue? I mean, Jalen LeCue is a crazy athlete.
He was an athlete.
Let's just talk, as far as in the rotation.
Gerald Green is in that mix. Obviously, Eric Bledsoe is in that mix.
10 years ago.
Yep. And that's where it pretty much stops at.
I mean, DeAndre Ayton was a great athlete.
For sure.
Right? I think Jalen Green's a better athlete than him. I mean, just pure raw athleticism.
Yeah.
Chimezie Metu?
Mez definitely had athleticism to him, but it wasn't constructed in the same way that Jalen Green's is. His is a little different.
Yeah,
Jalen Green's the most dynamic athlete the Suns have had in recent memory.
And one of the most dynamic athletes ever. It's not just he's a good athlete.
For sure.
It's not just, oh man, this guy is a good athlete. He's one of the best athletes in the NBA currently, point blank period. Like he's
on and off the ball.
On and off the ball, which that first lob, dude, I think, as we get closer to the season, and obviously we might not see him Friday. We might see him Friday. Who knows? But as we get closer to the season.
Killer Rex, that one was funny.
As we get closer to the season, I am just starting to just salivate at the idea of posting Jalen Green dunks on Twitter. Because now it's getting real.
Yeah.
Like, July, it's like, yeah, this guy's going to catch a body for this guy's going to be in the top 10 plays in the NBA this season. Like this season, not just of the night, but like season. He's going to do something so stupid.
It's audacious.
It's going to be one of the best plays we've ever seen. I can't wait. I can't. And like, that's fun. We talk about this team being fun.
Mm-hmm.
That type of stuff is fun, man.
That was one thing that people poked at the 2021 and 2022 Suns about. They were like, this team is just so. I remember hearing professional analysts say that the team was bland. And because they were bland, they didn't feel like they would get to the finals because of that. Now, obviously, they wouldn't improve that wrong and then some. But they were just saying, like, they're missing a top-tier athlete. I'm like, what does that have to do with playing the game? But I guess if you're looking at it that way, I guess you're right. Like, no, they didn't have a top-tier athlete, and that ultimately was some of why they couldn't contain Giannis. But
I mean, you can have a top-tier athlete.
And
it's not containing
exactly.
Giannis.
So it's like, what's the point in bringing that up?
And I think it's actually fascinating. We don't have this, but we were going to pull it up on an earlier show about Pat Spencer, who talked about, IQ and athleticism and said, if you're a guy who can connect the dots, but also do some other things, knock down the three ball, there's always going to be a place for you in the league. Unfortunately, there's a lot of organizations that are stuck in the bottom that continue to value length and athleticism over IQ, and they tend to stay in the lottery every year. Length and athleticism, it's just a prerequisite in the NBA. Like, Pat Spencer is one of the best athletes in the world. Like, let's not get that twisted, but we know what he's talking about. Like, if you have that, your ceiling is exponentially higher. Mm-hmm. But just having that is not enough to succeed in the NBA. Yep. Some of the best athletes in the world, as far as basketball goes, are playing overseas. Mm-hmm. It just the way that it is because they don't have the skill there. I think Jalen Green has such a unique combination already that if he can continue to build up that skill, the ceiling is so much higher for him because of just how raw and athletic that he actually is.
A lot of guys have NBA level athleticism. Not all guys have NBA level IQ, and not all guys have NBA level skill. It's when you have the IQ or the skill or both in tandem with being a top-level athlete. That's why players like LeBron, that's why players like Giannis are so unique. Because usually guys only have one of those three things, if not one and a half. Not all three. Giannis had to grow into having all three. LeBron came into the league with all three. Yeah. Like, that's the separator. That's the differentiation piece.
Yeah. Aiden says, I get Pat Spencer's point, but are you going to say Amen Thompson, not a high IQ player, LeBron or Draymond? He's not saying that all mega athletes are not high IQ because that's stupid. Right. But there are teams that only value that. And it's only valuing that where you kind of, Yep. It's always a balance. Yep. Always.
And I mean, look at the most recent dynasty, Golden State Warriors. They're going to add Andre Iguodala, top-tier athlete, but he's an extreme high-level thinker of the game. And that separates them. That takes them to a different stratosphere. Mm-hmm. That's the it factor. Boston had it in multiple waves with players that they brought in recently.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can't just be an athlete, but being an athlete helps. Obviously, it's one of Jalen Green's biggest strengths, but it's clear. Like, he's a polarizing guy. He's a polarizing player. There is absolutely room for improvement. Let's take a look at 5 different things that he can improve on, Steven. And there's a common theme here.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of touched on some of it when we were breaking down his strengths. But shot selection, so it's one thing, it's a gift to be able to knock down tough shots. Mm-hmm. It's also a gift to discern between when to have to knock down tough shots versus when you can get to a different spot, get a different type of look for yourself or get a different look for your teammates. So the shot selection part for Jalen, I think, is something that's going to continue to grow. Only 23 years old, will be 24 in a couple of months. That's going to be something that naturally comes with experience. Second one for me, turning attention into playmaking. So I talked about him being someone that gets extra attention. That's the gift. And now it's about how do you leverage that attention that you get into opportunities to put other teammates in better positions to be successful. Mm-hmm. And how consistently do you do that? Because it's not that he doesn't do it. Understanding how to put that in tandem with the shot selection part is important. Timing on passes is another one. It's not always about making the pass to the player that's open, but what's the timing of that? And how are you putting them in the best position to be successful on the catch to then make the next decision that's going to come in succession with it? Another one is assessing coverages. So if you're seeing different types of double teams, every double team is not the same. Every coverage is not the same. Every team that might run the same scheme is not the same. Being able to assess that and manipulate the game there. And then the last one is being varied in the approach. And that's what I talked about in, I know the skip pass is there. Am I going to make it here and then make it the very next possession? Or am I going to make it here to see what the rotations look like and then wait a couple possessions later, take the information I received from that, and then apply that in real time to manipulate the game? That's what it gets to, thinking it through, understanding it, and then manipulating it.
Well, and that was part of what he said when I asked him at Media Day, hey, Jalen Green, what did you work on this summer?
I've been working on my in-between game a lot more. The mid-range, float, just that in-between game, because, as the season went on, it was either 3 years to the cup, and, they was forcing me to have to score that in-between game, not allowing me to get all the way to the rim. And they would take away the three a lot more. So, yeah, just trying to have an in-between game, be a full, complete three-level scorer, and then just reads, the simple reads, corner, pocket pass, things like that. So just trying to be all-around complete for when it comes to the playoff situation again.
Desert Straw has a funny comment. Says JG needs to work on that in-between the ears game, not just his in-between game. But here are the things from the weaknesses. If we put up the room for improvement thing, these are all the things that he mentioned. Shot selection, right? When he's shooting, what he's shooting, when he's going to do it. Turning attention to playmaking, making reads, timing on passes, making the right reads, making the right pocket passes, assessing coverages. That also goes into when you go to the mid-range game and when you get into the cup and when you go to the three, and being varied on approach. All five of those things in one way or another were addressed by Jalen Green's answer in 30-ish seconds when I asked him, what are you going to work on this summer? Does it translate to the game? Maybe. Sometimes we hear about guys working on stuff in the offseason. It doesn't translate. Sometimes you're Brook Lopez and all of a sudden you're showing up and you're shooting threes at an insane clip after never taking them in your career, right? Usually there's a middle ground, but I at least like that he has focused the right way on that. And I know that answer made a lot of people mad when it happened, but I think when you actually dive into it, it's good.
It was a very good answer. I like where his mind is in terms of assessing his game and how to find those pockets to improve on. I think he's in a good situation again. It's not just about him. It's also about what is the situation doing to better suit him. And I feel like because, for one, he has Devin Booker next to him, who's going to be shouldering the brunt of a lot of attention, but also putting him in position to where he can learn from some of the things that Booker himself had to go through recently. That's going to help expedite things for him. I think that's important. And I think also naturally, the system Ott is establishing is going to matter most in that. Quick aside, saw somebody mention Jason Richardson, shout out Michigan State, in the chat as far as athletes. That's one name I wanted to bring up that I thought about. And another one, another Spartan dog, Shannon Brown.
Yeah, he had hops. He had bunnies.
That's a whole other topic, but I just wanted to bring
underrated athlete in Suns history. Most underrated athlete in Suns history.
That's a good question.
Bledsoe.
I don't think he's underrated. They call that man Mini Brian.
I feel like in the moment, he wasn't underrated, but I think now when you look back at it, it was. Especially because like post knee injury, he didn't have bounce like that.
I hear that.
We also don't really see 6'2" guards throwing down like he does anymore.
And chasing down blocks too. Like,
dude, he was so good at blocking shots. He was so good at blocking shots.
Yeah. I would probably say I feel like the Suns had a big that could go get it above the. I think Amari Stoudemire was a little underrated in his athleticism. In his athleticism?
Dude, Amari is known for catching bodies. He's one of the best athletes that have ever stepped on the court. Yeah, Amari is crazy.
But when Blake came around, I think that's where he started to get underrated because it was like he was the first forward in recent memory that was doing that.
Killer X says Hakeem Warwick. Elko says Dragic. Underrated athletes.
We can let that fester a little longer.
Yeah, maybe we'll get into that next offseason. Yeah. Before that, though, you made such a wonderful transition that it almost, felt unfortunate that we had to step on it, even though I liked that conversation. But about how being on the Suns is going to help Jalen Green and why that is probably the key for him to capitalize on that polarizing potential. So we're going to talk about that. We'll hear from Jalen Green about fitting into Ott's system. We'll hear from Brian Gregory. We'll break down 5 points on why being on the Suns helps Jalen Green. And then we also have a new game that hopefully I'm better at. And we'll get to it all after our final break. Mount America Credit Union is the exclusive home of the Suns card and the Mercury card, and you can get these elite cards from the official credit union of the Phoenix Suns. They're available as both a debit or a credit card, so whatever you need, if it's a MyStyle checking account on your debit account, you can get restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, offers on travel and events, loan rate discounts, identity protection, telehealth access, and so much more. Or you can go to a credit card. Credit and debit together. A credit card, no annual fees, available as low rate, cashback, or a rewards card option. Mount America, at the end of the day, is just here to guide you forward on your financial journey. Get your Suns card today. Apply it in the Arizona branch. Get it as a debit card. Get it as a credit card. Rep your team. Rep Mount America Credit Union. And visit macu.com/Suns to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Loans are on approved credit, and I approve of Rally House. And you can come say hi to me at Rally House at Tempe Marketplace next Friday at 5:30 for PHNX Sun Devils live show there. But Rally House isn't just for PHNX Sun Devils live shows. It's the best place to get your local team's merchandise, and I heavily emphasize local team because it's not like these other stores that are putting bum Cubs merch in any store.
Hey, chill out, man. You got all these other teams. Get out of here, man.
I love Rally House because it's all Arizona sports all the time. And that's just who I am as a local sports fan. I like walking in and seeing all of the options that I have from all the teams and some shirts, shorts, hats, drinkware, signage, cooler stuff that I've never seen before. I've only seen it at Rally House and at rallyhouse.com. So go to Tempe, Mesa, or Glendale today and find your local Rally House location. Shop their entire product assortment online at www.rallyhouse.com. That's www.rallyhouse.com. And I appreciate, chat, everybody rallying together. We've steadily increased the amount of people hanging out with us, talking Suns basketball as we steadily inch closer to the second game of the preseason. As a reminder, we'll be live at 3 o'clock Wednesday, 3 o'clock Thursday, and then around 8 a.m. on Friday for a 5 a.m. post-game show. No watch-along for that game because I'm going to be tired, but I will be wearing a onesie. Aryton will be wearing pajamas. Steven, do you want to tell the people what you'll be wearing?
Yeah, I might pull out the robe. We'll see.
Dude, if you don't pull up for an 8 a.m. post game where I'm in a onesie and Steven's in a robe, I don't know what else we could do. I don't know what else we can do. But what we could do is all of us collectively in here hit that like button.
Shout out Corey. Corey, Chicago is a huge city and also a small town at the same time. I swear everybody's interconnected in some capacity. It's crazy.
Sean says, got to give Erik a lot of credit for his ad reads.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Zeke says, Friday's a must win. Yeah, the must win meter's off the charts in Macau. You don't want to disappoint the people of Macau.
Yet. We ain't even started the regular season yet.
Must win game. Gotta have it. Critical do or die preseason game 2.
That's crazy.
I don't make the rules. Zeke makes the rules.
What I will say is it Chinese book?
Yeah, there is Chinese book. Yeah,
it's a gotta have it and a must win for him.
He's got to be there, right?
Yeah, Book said he's aware of him. He was made aware of him, and he said he hoped that he was coming to the game.
What a sentence! Devin Booker is aware of Chinese Booker. I mean, what a sentence! What a world we live in. You see how the Suns posted a video of them trying like mooncakes?
I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah. It looked good. I think there was also a video in Nigel Hayes Davis vlog, which, by the way, you should check out. I watched it. Nigel and Rasheer Fleming couldn't find the locker room on media day, so they had to like get help. Super funny. Up on Nigel's YouTube channel.
Sean, maybe a little something like that. Maybe I might throw some glasses on.
Ferris Bueller look.
We'll see.
You gonna pull up in that car too?
No.
But on Nigel's vlog, I think they had him like speaking Chinese, and he sounded good. The dude speaks like a billion languages. So it'll be an interesting game on Friday. We'll have a post-game show for you. Before we get there, hopefully we can see Jalen Green. And if we do, what will he benefit from playing in the Suns context? Steven, you compiled, wow, I cannot speak today, 4 different points.
I did, yeah. One thing he's going to greatly benefit from, he's never played with a guard talent on the professional level. like Devin Booker. Someone that scores better than him, someone that garners more aggressive defensive capital in terms of attention than he does. Jordan Knott's spacing principles is something that I've been emphasizing since he was the coach that was hired. That manipulation of space, that respacing dynamic that they work with as a foundational layer to their approach on offense is going to greatly benefit him. Talked about it on yesterday's episode, but him seeing less bodies and less crowded paint means that he's going to be able to play to his strength of getting a paint touch more often, more frequently. And if teams try to take that away, there's going to be consequences to pay because of the catch and shoot team that the Suns have around, which I'll be getting to shortly. Number 3 here is Jordan Ott's refinement of his game. And I think that is going to the shot profile part, the discernment of what shots he's taking, the why behind the shots he's taking. Is that the best shot he knows that he's going to make at that moment, or is there something else he can get? And then the last one is the tempo. Not just tempo in terms of playing fast, but the tempo of making quick decisions and that being part of their consistency on the offensive end in the half court.
Well, a couple of things that you mentioned there. We have some sound to go along with it. 2 things of mentioning of Jordan Ott, spacing principles and refinement of his. So let's talk about Ott's system, but first let's hear from Jalen Green on it.
I think space is the most important thing. He's emphasized that to me and made that very clear that, he wants to play with a lot of space. And, I think the way that we want to play and the play style that we trying to play like this year, the space is going to be the key to everything. And, playing fast and playing hard and getting out and running.
I mean, spacing is one of the operative words of media day in these first handful of weeks of training camp prior to the start of the preseason slate of the schedule. That's going to allow for them to operate in ways that he wasn't liberated to do because of the ways that defenses defended his teams when he was with Houston. Some of the pitfalls and some of the flaws in process that he saw in that playoff series just won't be something that he has to worry about with this Suns team because they have counters in place, but they also have principles in place that won't allow for defenses to load up like that.
Yeah. I also like what Brian Gregory said about like pace of play. And I just found this just soundbite from him a while ago to be pretty fascinating.
It will be really fast. You know what I mean? And the game is played at a faster pace. And the ability to attack and get downhill is something he does exceptionally well. Had his best three-point shooting year of his career last year. He's 23 years old, going to be 24. I think the sky's the limit for him, and I think him and Book being able to man that backcourt together in a lot of instances and the pace that they're able to play with and playing off each other, obviously I think there's going to be greater movement, cutting, open opportunities for downhill drives. I mentioned it, after the draft, we did not attack the rim very well last year. It's an area we have to get better at. You do it 3 specific ways, on the drive, on the cut, a big man getting the ball in the post area, which doesn't happen all that often anymore. And then the effort way you do it is on the offensive glass. I think Jalen on those first 2 is going to be really, really good.
Listen, everything that we just heard, right, about Ott's system from Jalen Green, about how they're going to play from Brian Gregory, I go back to our second graphic, the strengths graphic, and you look at the very top one. It's top percentile athlete, right? You're simplifying the game in a sense because you're not asking him to do as much individually, even though his role might technically be more intricate and more, complementary and complex. But you're asking him to use his strengths better, spacing, pace of play, like getting to the rim, all these things that the Suns have built a team. Like, let's also not just look at it from, hey, how are they going to play? How have they built the team? The team plays into that style. That all plays into Jalen Green's biggest strengths: athleticism, shooting threes, and driving to the rim. All the other stuff that he can add is if he could take it to a superstar level. But on a baseline level, this team is set up 10 times better this year for Jalen Green individually than the Rockets were. Now, will he be a player that leads to wins and high-level success? He still has to prove that, I think, from an individual level. Sure. But I think that this is a really, really good litmus test this season for him.
It is, and that's why it's such an important season for him because it's his first opportunity in a context or a team situation that I feel like is most conducive to him because of the pieces around him, because of him being kind of second in the pecking order and not being the top tier point of attack creation type of piece on the roster. And I think also the non-basketball, non-on-the-court things that he can glean and learn from in terms of conversations and film being watched with Jordan Knott. Conversations, film being watched, and experiences being spoken back on with Devin Booker.
Mhm.
That's as invaluable as anything. And I think that just those conversations on the daily basis is going to expedite things for him in terms of the refinement part.
Mhm.
Stripping the impurities and kind of uplifting some of the things that are more positive in a sustained manner for him, and then building a new layer off of that.
Rich Base is back and talking ball. Love when we're talking ball in the chat, Rich Base. Says, the host with the blue laptop. Jalen's issue was he didn't have counters to his moves. Once you stopped his first move, he was cooked. I think Jalen will have a better year, but he's a sixth man to me. I'm curious your response to that.
I don't know if I agree with him not having counters, because you can't get to averaging north of 20 in the NBA, especially as a number one or number two option at worst, without having counters in your game. I think he didn't have counters to when teams take away specific pockets of the floor and pick and roll in particular. That's what I was kind of hammering home in the film session. Having ways to counter, and it's not as a scorer, it's more so as I know where the next rotating defender is, I know where they want to get to, and I know where they're anticipating my first pass going. How can I break that player's rhythm or make a pass that gets them scrambling with more urgency, which puts the other players outside of me in position to be successful? But I think he has room to improve with his counters as a scorer for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's without those right now, because you can't get to averaging 20 in today's NBA without it.
Yeah, and I think also realistically, when you hear his answer about working on his in-between game and stuff, like that's the counters.
For sure.
Like that is literally
That's
a counter.
the midi is the counterpunch to everything.
Yeah.
Because if he was knocking down the midi at Chris Paul levels, they're going to the conference finals last year.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just
Chris
throwing that out there. Like,
Yeah.
if you're double teaming him the ways that they were and inviting the midi, no team's ever invited Chris Paul or Devin Booker to shoot the midi. No team's ever invited Kevin Durant to shoot the midi.
No.
Like, that's the ultimate counterpunch right there.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how he grows. And that's the main thing, is you just need to see growth. I don't think he's going to hit this ceiling of his, right? This superstar potential level this year. It'd be nice.
For sure.
It would sure help out this team a ton. But I think he just needs to show improvement, right? If you could pick one thing for Jalen Green to improve on, I don't even want to say like what's the most realistic thing, but like ideally speaking, you can fix one thing, improve one thing from his game that will most help him and the Suns this season, what would it be?
Honestly, I'm torn on it, and this is something that I'm kind of going back and forth with. It's between the decision-making trending towards manipulating the game in pick and roll and the shot selection. I err on what is his top-tier talent, and that is his ability to put the ball in the basket. So the shot selection part improving. I'll, for the sake of the question, say just that one specifically, because if he gets a switch against a lesser guard in terms of who's guarding him, like I talked about the situation with Steph, and he's not taking step-back threes, shots that he knows that he can make, and he gets more to, no, I'm putting pressure on the rim, and I'm either getting up a midi, I'm getting up some type of shot that's going towards the basket, and now I'm putting pressure on you to make your team pay for that switch that they conceded and not bailing guys out at moments like that. I think that part is going to be what helps to make his game and his scoring impact ultimately more. It's going to have more of a stamping on a game than it has in recent memory.
Yeah, if I'm looking at the room for improvement, shot selection, turning attention to playmaking, timing on passes, assessing coverages, and being varied in approach, I'm looking at the playmaking, man. And maybe that's more selfish from a team perspective and not as much from an individual perspective, but I do feel like the playmaking helps his scoring. If teams know he's going to make the right read, if they know he's going to make the right pass, and he does it enough over the season, you're going to have to stay true and honest. Devin Booker uses that all the time, and I don't think Jalen Green gets to a passing level that Devin Booker is at. But Book's passing is such a potent threat on this team or any team that he's on that it's hard for people to be like, okay, we're going to just blindly double, but they still have to do it because of the scoring, and now he's got both options, and it's a real pick your poison type of thing. I'm really excited for this season. My expectations for Jalen Green have gone up. When he was rumored to be in the trade package and he was the center of the trade package for the Suns, I was really low. I was really low on him. I remember tiering potential returns and centers of return for Kevin Durant earlier in the offseason, and I put Jalen Green at the very bottom. I didn't want another shooting guard. I didn't like how he played in the playoffs. I felt like he was redundant with Book. But now that he's over here, like you mentioned, Steven, you assess things, you look at things, you watch your film breakdown. I've watched a lot of film on my own. I don't know if it's a championship level fit, but it's a lot better of a fit than I thought it was going to be. And I love the moves that were made around him. And at a certain point, I think Elko said in the chat, like, you just got to believe this is a young guy. This is
23.
This is a young dude who is one of the top picks in the draft. He's been the number one on a playoff team. Whatever the context of that situation is, it is the truth. On the number 2 seed in the West, he had a bad playoffs, but a lot of players have had bad playoffs and bounced back from that in better situations. Do you have any final thoughts on Jalen Green before we get to a fun new game? Aryton has created yet another game for us to play today.
Yeah, context always matters. When you look at players in specific situations, you might think this player is this exact type of player because that's just the way they want to be. Sometimes that's the way that a team needs a player to operate because they just are without talent in certain respects to the game. You look at Houston, you look at their guard room. There's a reason why Jalen had to play the way that he did because they needed players to get up to certain type of shots that he did and that he had the potential to do, because they didn't have someone else that could do those things. You look at Jalen Green as a template for success with the Suns, and you look at him playing a lot secondarily to what Devin Booker is. You look at the movement, the dynamic movement that we'll have a film session coming out soon about that we saw from the Suns in game 1 of the preseason, and you look at him in those situations and how that's going to put him in position to be as successful as he potentially could be, it's going to look night and day in terms of the spaces, literally and figuratively, that he's operating in. One of the things I talked about in the film session, a couple times they did little things to either get opportunity to create an advantage before he got into a primary action or get him on the move. That was few and far in between. It's not going to be a few and far in between thing in terms of his usage with the Suns under Jordan. And I think those things are going to put him in position to sustain success. It won't be a blip or a one-off. It's going to be something that's consistent.
Yeah, obviously we want to see Jalen Green on Friday or on Sunday or on Tuesday, one of the final Suns preseason games. Just a quick little injury update on him. This is via Arizona Republic's Dwayne Rankin. Coach Jordan said it's definitely progressing as far as his low-grade hamstring strain. It's progressing in the right place with soft tissue. You never know exactly where we're at, but every day has been better. We'll continue to reassess in China. And Jared Butler also spoke about Jalen Green's injury status, said, I think he's super close to returning. He also said that to Dwayne Rankin. So it seems like he's close. I want to see him play. But at the end of the day, what really matters is when you get to the regular season. And he looked good in that warm-up before the Lakers game and going at full speed. And now it's, okay, let's just get him healthy to the regular season. Rich in the chat is a Houston fan, says, Jalen is hurt? Yeah. You play 82 games in 2 seasons in a row. You come to the Suns, you get hurt. It's
and all the playoff games in addition to that,
yeah. Tough. But, again, it's preseason.
It could be worse. A low-grade hamstring strain is very different from a grade 2 or a grade 3 or something like that.
Yeah. If you saw him working working out before the Lakers game, which we posted that on our Twitter at PHNX_Suns, he looks fine. This really just feels like, okay, you're like 98%.
We're not playing through injuries in the preseason.
No, if this was the regular season, I think he'd be playing.
That's the energy I gather from what Jordan Knott was saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Jalen Green's excited to play with Devin Booker. He said that. I think Devin Booker's excited to play with Jalen Green. I'm excited for his fit with Jordan Knott, this team, and how they play. And I really think that Jalen Green will fit into the identity that we saw in the first preseason game. So
he's a Ferrari.
Yeah.
No disrespect to any other 2-door vehicles, but
no free ads. I know that we were in talks with Lamborghini, but things just kind of fell through. They were going to give you one, man, until you said that.
Why am I just now finding out about it?
It's not my fault that you're not plugged in.
Do you have closing thoughts?
I just gave
Mr.
him.
Freckle Mamba, do you have thoughts
I gave my
on
closing
Jalen
thoughts.
Green before we transition? This guy talking about Lamborghinis and whatnot.
I saw a few people in the chat mention Bradley Beal comparisons to Jalen Green, and I understand it because they're shooting guards, but I just want you guys to think about their style of play. Jalen Green fits so much better next to Booker as a cutter, as a secondary, I guess sometimes primary ball handler, but honestly, just watch the film study and you'll have it all explained out for you.
Amen to that. Watch the film study. I think we should just quote Freckle Mamba for some, not all, but some of the commenters that we get.
For sure.
I just need you to think. I just need you to think. I think that was great. Also, super low bar for Jalen Green as far as like the fun meter, the shooting guard meter, everything like that. It's going to be a good time. I think Suns fans are going to be pleasantly surprised. At least I hope so. And maybe that's just the eternal optimist in me. And come December, I'll be like, God. But we got to get there first. And right now it's October, so it's optimist season. All right. Watch the film study. It's right now live on YouTube, but watch it after this. Aryton, the floor is yours to introduce a brand new addition to the PHNX Suns game family.
Yes, as you all know, Otto came out last week. And
to a massive success.
Great game.
What's
Went
the
well.
score on Otto?
We'll touch on that tomorrow when we do Otto again. But decision has been made, and it is final. That's all I'll say.
Wow.
But new game.
Laying down the law.
New game is
Well,
called.
it depends on what side of that you're on. We'll revisit.
It's final
Find out on
depending on if I
tomorrow's
agree
episode
with
of PHNX Suns.
It's final depending on if I agree with it. Is kind of hilarious. I like that.
We'll figure out tomorrow. But today's game is called Facebook. And what Facebook is.
It's a great logo.
You guys have seen the pictures of, well, they'll merge two people's faces together and you got to guess the players. So that's exactly what this is. I haven't decided the point system yet. I think.
Well, we should probably figure that out now and determine if this counts or not.
Because of the Otto stuff, this is going to be preseason Facebook until I figure out the point system.
Watch me be good at this. If I'm good at this, we can't call this preseason.
This is preseason Facebook.
Oh, who cares?
Well,
I have a low-grade hamstring strain. I'm out.
Preseason, game 1, Facebook. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dylan Brooks and... Oh, my God. Wait, who else? Are these all current players, or are this like all time?
Former Suns, current Suns, all the three.
Oh, wait, was that Nick Richards?
I was going to say, I feel like this is...
That's Nick.
This is Nick Richards is one player. That's one of my answers. I'm going with Nick Richards and Mikal Bridges.
Double wrong.
Oh,
Double wrong?
wow.
Okay. Give me Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green.
It is Dylan Brooks.
No way!
There you go.
Yeah.
Erik.
No. God,
Good
damn
job.
It.
You won
damn
something.
It. No,
Good
damn
job.
it. Now it's preseason. This sucks. This is bull crap.
Well,
you know what? By the way, if you're watching on TV, the party always continues over at gophnx.com. It's time for overtime, and it's time for me to say that this is absolute bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Because,
no, I'm not mad because at least we set the parameters this time.
Nah, dude.
What
this
counts is
so
what
BS,
counts,
bro.
and he set the parameters
dude.
early on.
This is so BS. The other one, it starts from the beginning, but this one that Eric's better on, we're not going to count the points. That sucks. That's bullshit.
I mean, we rushed into Otto a little too fast. I didn't iron out.
It's not my fault.
It's
I don't feel like we rushed
set a
into
precedent.
it.
We
It is
set
my
a
fault.
precedent.
It is my
I
fault.
don't feel like we rushed into Otto at all, but
All right, next one. Whatever. Who
All right,
cares?
Next one.
I don't care. Oh, Swiggadaro Ryan Dunn.
Easy.
yeah, the gout or two of the Gauchos. that
Can
was
this
easy.
count?
Nope.
No, it's
Please?
preseason. I've been
Bro,
very, very.
I'm so much better at this.
This is preseason.
I'm so
Facebook.
much better at this.
Preseason Facebook. All right, let's go with the next one.
Mason Plumlee and Grayson Allen.
No, Mason Plumlee is correct. I'll give you.
Well,
that.
you shouldn't tell me that because I stopped the gas. Because we're competing with each other, right?
This is preseason Facebook. We're getting used to the game. Let's play this as a team. Points will come out. When
Mason
I figure
Plumlee, Colin Gillespie.
No, that's
This is
Mason.
this
That's
is
Mason.
disturbing.
Is that?
This is legitimately Mason Plumlee and Mirza Teletovic.
No.
Bang.
Is,
Bang!
oh, really? Wow.
Bang!
There you go.
I had to throw Erik a bone there.
Dude, are you kidding me? I'm so good at this.
All right, let's get to round 4, Facebook.
I'm so good at this. Tyus Jones, Josh
Josh
Okogie.
Okogie, yeah. Yep.
Tyus Jones, Josh Okogie.
I'm actually pissed off. I'm actually mad.
All right, last round of first day of Facebook.
A clean sweep, by the way, 4-0. Joe Johnson,
and
Langston Galloway.
No.
that's ISO Joe.
That's definitely Joe Johnson.
It is Joe Johnson.
And Eric Bledsoe.
Joe Johnson and Erik Bledsoe.
Nice.
That's not my first one, but you beat me to the punch on a bunch.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
ain't tripping.
Eric Bledsoe, Joe Johnson is a sicko match.
I wish you
love
could
that.
combine those two. Good Lord.
That was great.
That'd be a problem.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Eric
Jeez.
Bledsoe with a 6'7" frame.
That's LeBron.
And an ISO game. Oh my God.
That's LeBron.
Joe Johnson with chase down blocking ability.
I mean, you're talking about an all NBA player.
That's
fun.
tough.
That's another
That's
fun
tough.
conversation. If you could mix
Combine players? Yeah.
two Suns players all time, and why is it Gerald Green and Mirza Teletovic?
Why is it? Yeah, I like that. Devin Booker and Gerald Green would be a lot of fun.
Bro, you know what? That
Booker
stuff was kind of disturbing.
Windmilling oops.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room about how disturbing that looked?
Also
Some
true.
of those mashups were incredible.
That
also
was
true.
I'm not gonna lie, man. The Mirza Teletovic Mason Plumlee one, like that guy is like horror movie.
I'm gonna sneak those headshots into
Yeah,
the
that one was
graphics
different
that we
for
do this
sure.
year. See if anyone figures it out.
That's crazy.
Oh, any final thoughts on a Tuesday afternoon, folks? How are we feeling? Good? Bad? Terrible?
It's been fun to watch some of the things going on around the league. The ways that the Denver Nuggets are, at least in the preliminary stages, using Cam Johnson around everything that is
It's like fun, but it's
Jamal
not
Murray
fun.
and
It's like Squidward looking out the window.
it's fun.
and
It's fun for me. It's fun for me. Sicko stuff.
No, I get like as a basketball fan, yes. As a Suns fan,
Yeah. Victor Wembanyama getting to the point where he's not getting pushed around and he's in fact doing the pushing around now is frightening. Everyone should be scared.
Mm-hmm.
There was one other thing that stood out for me in watching preseason. Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges, aggressive.
Very aggressive and having that implored from him from a head coach is very interesting. Seeing Jalen Brunson and Cat working off the ball more and someone like OG Anunoby or Mikal having it in their hands more and what that in turn does for those two players in a playoff context, I'm intrigued. Also, them starting Mitchell Robinson is a lot of fun as well.
I'm
if he
intrigued by
stays
that
healthy,
too.
there's no wood to knock on around here, but if he stays healthy, covering up for Cat in those aspects is also fun.
Aiden says, I saw a poll today asking who's better, Cat or Book.
Wow. Sounds like, never mind. I ain't going to.
How about Shams Charania today on NBA Today talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo's offseason interest in the Knicks, Milwaukee's New York conversation, and what's next for the Bucks' future. Knicks apparently are the only team Giannis would want to be traded to, and the team's engaged in conversation in August.
I ain't got nothing to say.
You got nothing to say about that?
No. Because then they just uprooted a lot of their roster from last season to better build around Giannis.
What would that
So you're
trade
telling me
even
that
look like?
those things happened after those conversations took place and after all of those free agents moves were made as well?
That feels like Shams was told something and
Correct.
you kind of roll with it.
Correct.
What would that trade? It would be Cat.
It would be Cat, and it
So-
would probably be one of Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby going out.
Bucks.
Because there's no other way around making that trade happen. They're not gonna just do that for Josh Hart.
Dude, I haven't been on the trade machine in so long.
Isn't that refreshing to say?
I mean, it was kind of fun though. Let's be honest here. It was kind of
Yes, but it also is very
kinda fun.
taxing after a while too.
Okay, so Giannis makes $1 million more than Karl Anthony Towns, so that does not work. So
Also, you have to factor in how is Milwaukee going to value having Karl Anthony Towns when they already have Miles Turner.
Well,
It's not-
yeah,
it's
you're
not
also
gonna
trading
be-
Giannis, and I don't think that the Knicks have crazy draft picks. So Karl
Boom
Anthony Towns,
shakalaka, big facts.
and Ariel Hukporti for Giannis works.
Why does
Technically.
Milwaukee say yes to
Well,
only
and so
getting
New
Cat
York,
in return?
according to Spot Track,
Mhm.
New York has a 2026 first round pick unprotected, 2028 first round pick unprotected, 2030 first round pick unprotected. Then they have a bunch of second round picks. They have Milwaukee's.
Sounds like
They have Milwaukee second round pick. It sounds like not enough for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
exactly, unless you're including one of those other players I just got done speaking to.
But
Because they're not
even
gonna be
but even the
trading-
other players, like how would the money work?
That's what I'm saying.
So
I
they
just don't- that's
okay.
why I
So
didn't have much of a reaction to
let's
it.
say Milwaukee wants to get rid of Kuzma, which is like completely understandable, right? So what you're gonna give him OG Anunoby? So Conte Towns, OG Anunoby, and Ariel Hukporti, and 3 first round picks, and I think like 5 second round picks for Giannis and Kyle Kuzma works.
I just don't see a feasible way in which the Knicks are going about saying yes to what it is, or at least Milwaukee
saying yes to what the Knicks can
return,
offer.
or what the Knicks can offer. Yeah, what the Knicks would want to offer, because it's been clear they're not wanting to part ways with either of Mikal or OG.
Dude, all of the Bucks roster is basically trade restricted except for Giannis and Kuzma.
Yep.
And
Everybody's
AJ Green.
Everybody's brand new essentially,
Yeah.
or re-upped on a contract to where they're not available for trade until December or January for some situations.
Some of these names aren't real. Jamari Bouye.
Shout out Ryan Hollins for getting that bag though.
Yeah. Cormac Ryan. Do y'all know who Cormac Ryan is? I know who Mark Sears is. Mark Sears is on a 2-way for them. Anyway, that's the Giannis news. Any other news and notes from around the association? I feel like we haven't talked
Yeah, it's been a minute.
like NBA basketball in a minute.
I know Ja. I can't remember what the injury was, but Ja hasn't played.
Ja
He
got
wasn't-
hurt.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Reed Shepard starting for Houston last night was fun.
You see, I okay, not to be like a bitter ex, but like all these people are like taking clips of like Katie looking happy after they beat the Hawks by 9 points in preseason and be like, that look when you pick the right team, and Katie's super happy you picked the Rockets. It's like, welcome to the honeymoon phase. Everybody is happy when it first starts.
For sure. Shout out to who was I just thinking about? Jalen Johnson coming back from an injury
He looked good.
and looking like his typical physical self. That's a player that if he grows more as he gets healthy and gets back into game rhythm, a piece that could turn the Hawks into a team that is second round exit to a team that could be representing the Eastern Conference in the finals.
Can I say something that I haven't said in a very long time? In years?
What is it?
Can we talk about Victor Oladipo?
Yeah, that was fun.
Victor Oladipo.
That was fun.
For a China team, just putting that work in against Spurs for Guangzhou.
Yeah, shout
By
out
the
to
way, Frank Kaminsky. Frank
Yeah,
Kaminsky,
that
the
too.
leading scorer for Guangzhou, 22 points.
Shout out to a friend of the program, it was Frank the Tank.
Yeah, Frank the Tank, and then Victor Oladipo had 20.
Yeah, shout out Vic, man. Vic has had a very adversity-filled road to success or road to health multiple times in recent memory.
Wow. Also, Justin Holiday on the Guangzhou Lung Lions. He had 3 points, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Deontay Burton and George King. I'm pretty sure George King was on the Suns. Yeah, he was drafted by the Suns. God, that's a sicko poll. George King, he wore glasses. He wore like rec specs when he was on the Suns or whatever. It was just nice to see Oladipo back, and then of course Frank the Tank as well.
The Orlando Magic looked fun in their first preseason.
Desmond
game.
Bane just looks like he belongs there.
Desmond Bane looks like every bit of what they've been looking for sure. And I think the other part of that is also Tyus Jones being involved with them helps a lot.
All right.
Top 5 corner 3-point shooter last season, going to matter for a team that couldn't take and make threes in the ways in which they needed to on the playoff stage.
Do you see the Cade Cunningham layup?
I did not.
Dude, look it up. Go on Twitter right now. Like, chat, if you have not seen, I'm looking it up myself even though I want to see it. If you have not seen the Cade Cunningham layup,
Off the spin?
dude.
Was it off a spin?
No, there was like this alley-oop where he grabbed it with one hand. There's a crazy angle here. I'm going to send it to you right now from Sean Murphy.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
At Sean Half Court.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw it.
The view is just
That's
nuts.
That's wild.
It takes it like this and goes, wow, crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That was a terrible pass, and he made that look
Who passed that?
exceptional.
Tobias?
Yeah, Tobias.
Yeah. God, Tobias Harris.
Shout out to Tobias.
Future Phoenix Sun. Tobias
Great
Harris.
playoff showing last season.
Yeah, he played good.
He was a difference maker for them.
Yeah, he played good. Oh my gosh, can we talk about the biggest news of the offseason?
What's up?
Delano Banton got signed.
This happened today?
Yeah, did you see that?
Who did he get signed to?
I'm pretty sure it was Dallas, which sucks. Yeah, Delano Banton has signed with the Mavericks.
Wow.
And Mavs fans for life are freaking out over a 6'9", 25-year-old bucket. And I will be avenged. I will be justified in my Delano Banton love. It will happen. Delano Banton's good.
Yeah, I wonder what type of contract he signed. Is it a training camp deal? Is he on a two-way? Is he on a standard contract? I'm curious about that. But he's a good fit for what it is that Dallas needs in terms of height as well as athleticism.
So friend of the program, Mark Stein. Defense. Mark Stein says Banton had no shortage of overseas interest, but held out for an NBA opportunity. Dallas's roster is realistically full, but as with Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, if it gets Banton's G League rights, Dallas is also still working to obtain Dennis Smith Jr.'s G League rights for the Bucks. So it looks like a two-way.
Yeah, that's what it's sounding like.
Dude,
that's a steal. Bro, I think
Banton's gonna
outplay that. He's gonna outplay that.
Well,
for sure.
I think Dante is still hurt for them. I think the update on Dante is not been great. So he fits into that Dante Exum role really well. Westbrook still hasn't signed anywhere. Man, all I'm seeing are Mavs people tweeting about Delano Banton can actually hoop. Delano Banton can actually play. And I'm just like, I feel so left out. I will be vindicated, Freckled Mamba. Are you on my side? Are you on the right side of history on like your gray jersey take?
No, I'm not.
Wow.
Jalen McDaniels got placed on waivers yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah, by the Pelicans.
Interesting.
Garrison Brooks got placed on waivers yesterday.
Freckle Mom, you want to let the people know that your hunt for certain relics in Suns history?
This isn't breaking airwaves until it happens. Sorry, guys.
You've been working on something.
Cooking?
You've been cooking. We just got a lot of people here. I think everybody just wants to talk ball. I want to just keep talking ball here. Is there anything else that we're missing?
I'm looking.
LeBron? Oh my God. Can we talk about LeBron? Dude, I literally said it as soon as he tweeted. I quote tweeted and I said, this is bait. This is absolute bait. And it was bait. Come on, dude. You can't do the guy who cried retirement. Okay?
He said, let me show you.
I know.
Look at all the attention they got.
Come on, man. For like, listen, no free ads. I'm not going to say what he did, but like that was the most obvious bait of all time. I like LeBron. He's going to be really annoying these last couple of years. Do you think this is his last year? You think he's got one more in him? I think he's got one more.
I think it could be.
I think it depends on how well the Lakers do.
Yeah, I think so too.
So he'll have another year. Somebody said
we'll see.
Somebody said
we'll see because they got some question marks on the roster right now.
He saw
they got answer.
2 games of DeAndre Ayton and said, I'm out of here. Yeah.
That's why I said we'll see.
Deborah says, is Tatum and Halliburton out? Does that make a difference? That makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I saw some media members on the Celtics side, not in an informed or reporting manner, but just speculating that they might see Jason Tatum in March at some time. And I don't know how realistic that is, but yeah. There's something else that I was thinking about.
Boston's over-under on wins is 41.5. They won 60-plus games last year. I mean, they lost Tatum, Horford, Porzingis, Drew.
Yeah.
They're going to be a weird team.
Al Horford in Golden State.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I know the unction tag and all of that.
It's so real.
Until you get to the
Which
playoffs.
You must love as a resident unk.
Until you get to the playoffs and you have to deal with all of the experience that comes with being an unk, all of the championship winning experience, and you can't figure it out against them. You might out-athleticism them, but you won't outthink them and out-prepare them. You also can't I've been here and I've done that before them either. So don't be betting against the Doves. That's all I'm saying.
You are pro-unk.
I am pro-unk.
Who's the biggest unk in the league right now?
It's got to be Bron and CP. And Al Horford.
I feel like Al Horford.
It's Bron, CP, and Al Horford.
Who's the youngest unk? Who like gives off unk energy but is younger?
That's a fun question.
Book?
Naturally, first name that comes to mind is Devin Booker.
He's like in that middle ground. I think there's got to be somebody.
But he's the oldest. He's the oldest soul of players that are on the younger side of the 30 over under.
You know who's not an old soul?
Kay Cunningham has.
Kay Cunningham
has a lot
for
of
sure. Massive unk
about him for sure.
Cooper Flagg does not have an old soul. Cooper Flagg does not know who Hito Turkoglu is.
Yeah, that was they. I don't know why they set him up and let that rock out for as long as they did.
That was the first card. It was the first card.
Yeah,
Nikola
man.
Topic out 4 to 6 weeks after a
Yeah, that's
testicular
tough.
procedure.
That's tough. Yeah.
All-Star
Hope
game to
everything's
stay in
okay with
LA.
him there.
I'm just reading headlines now.
Mhm.
All-Star game to stay in LA despite the Clippers probe.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's really it. I cannot believe that LeBron did that.
Believe it.
I can't believe
It's that
LeBron
time of
did
year.
that. Killer Rex said, "A what procedure? Testicular procedure."
Mm-hmm.
God, the entire front page is about
I hope he's okay. That's all I got to say about that.
Giannis. The entire front page is about Giannis.
LaMelo Ball, back to the LaMelo Ball ways. Step back,
Huge.
one-legged threes.
He's
Very creative.
He's the least unk. And if there's an unk meter, it's like LaMelo Ball on one end and then Al Horford on the other end. And like that's the unk meter. There's a must-win meter and there's an unk meter. There was one other thing. Oh well, you can follow the show at PHNX_Suns.
Killer Rex said Al Horford is a grandfather.
Father, and then he also said that Topic's thing might have been a vasectomy. That'd be crazy if you are gonna be as an NBA player get a vasectomy and you do it in training camp.
That ain't no joke, man. Whatever's going on, that ain't no joke.
No, definitely.
I genuinely hope he's.
Oh yeah, I hope he's okay.
Going forward.
Sean says cultural icon LaMelo Ball. He's just like AI. I did see somebody tweeted like Con Knipple, the lone bright spot in an otherwise disappointing Charlotte loss, and somebody said, "Get ready to hear that sentence a lot, Charlotte fans." Charles Lee, you are on my shit list.
Brandon Ingram,
Hooper
on the floor for the first time with the Toronto Raptors. Fun.
Yeah,
and he's
I
back
think
to
he'll be okay.
He's back to his bucket getting ways.
He'll be okay.
Just very casually putting the ball in the basket.
They needed that.
For sure.
Dude, they
definitely.
Low key.
Most definitely. They got pieces over there. I just don't know how it comes together.
Have pieces because do you see how much they're paying for that roster?
It's a lot of money.
Bro.
Sound like the Suns last
Yeah,
season.
I'm going to say, like, go look up how much money they're paying up there in Toronto.
Yeah,
Also,
they got Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes. You got Brandon Ingram's contract on your books.
Emmanuel Quickly.
Yep, they got Quick. They just brought
RJ
in
Barrett.
for the trade last season. RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
they're low key. They got to be one of the more expensive teams in the NBA, right?
They're one of the teams that's looking to take advantage of
a week
any slippage in Indiana falling off and Boston potentially falling off. They're trying to take advantage of that and get into the play-in again and then ultimately back into the playoffs.
Yeah. Hold up. I got to see where Toronto ranks as far as most expensive.
I think they're top half for sure.
Ranked.
But where in that top half do you think
Cleveland's 1.
Okay.
New York 2, Dallas 3, Golden State 4, Minnesota 5, Boston 6, Philly 7, Houston 8, Clippers 9, LA 10, Orlando 11, Toronto 12. You want to guess where Phoenix is?
For cap?
Mm-hmm.
Probably around like what, 21?
They're 14.
Oh, they're 14?
That includes, really? But it includes $23 million of Bradley Beal too, and
the Beal money. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do the Phoenix? Here's a fun little trivia. Do the Phoenix Suns have the most dead money in the NBA right now?
The answer is no.
Who do you think does?
Somebody has a large lump sum of money on their books that's dead.
I'll tell you what, it's close.
It's the Eastern Conference team, right?
No. It's close. Phoenix and Milwaukee are separated by about $10,000. There's one team above them.
Who has that money on the dead?
They are a Western Conference team. There are an Eastern Conference team with a lot of dead money. Washington has $18 million in dead cap. Back in the West, Utah has $10 million in dead cap. Memphis has $4 million. Dallas has $3.2 million dead. There is one team in the Western Conference that has $25 million.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. $25,818,846. It is not the Sacramento Kings. They have $0 in dead cap.
Oh wow. Okay. Because I know they just got done paying Rudy Gay recently.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy sentence.
Yeah. Not the Clippers.
You closely associate this team with the Phoenix
Lakers.
Suns for a couple of reasons.
Closely associate with the team. Not
for
Minnesota.
a couple of reasons.
San Antonio?
Nope.
Nah.
Nope. Not the Warriors.
Not Denver.
Not Denver.
It's Houston?
Not Houston. Houston
New
is
Orleans?
$0. Not New Orleans.
What the heck?
You're getting
Ain't
you're,
that many
you're
more
getting down there.
teams? Not Portland. Is it Portland?
It's Portland.
Portland.
Oh, it is Portland. Yeah, because
Portland has
yeah.
$25 million, almost
Yeah.
$26 million of dead
That's right.
cap. Them and Phoenix are 14 and 15 in salary
right.
cap range.
That's right. I forget whose dead money it is that they were sitting on for quite some time. But yeah, it was one of those situations like with the Bulls where they were still paying Luol Deng well after he was out of the league.
Who is it for
yeah.
Portland? Who is
I
Portland's
can't remember
dead cap?
what player that was.
Portland.
Andy has it right here. They wave and stretch DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's so the Aiden part is in addition to what
That's
I
it.
was
Yeah,
thinking
because
about.
it's not that much for Ayton.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did they stretch?
Off the top of my head, I cannot remember. I'm trying to think back on it though.
Steve Blake. That's a funny. Who?
Steve Blake was a dude.
Steve Blake was a dude for sure. We haven't named dudes in a while. Dead money. No, it is $25 million this year from DeAndre Ayton.
Okay.
And then Didi Luzada also on the dead cap until 2028-29. So going to be hard to come back from that one.
I feel like they just got done paying Greg Oden in some capacity recently too.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to Greg Oden.
Okay, let's get out of here. That I think shout out to Greg Oden is a good place to end it. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. It's on Twitter and on Instagram.
Andre Miller is definitely a dude.
Andre Miller
that was a
certified
back
dude.
pocket guy for me that you just. Shout out,
Marcus
Sean.
Aldridge is too good to be a dude.
Yeah, he's
but
way too good to
is
be a
still
dude.
a certified dude for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to name dudes. You follow the show at PHNX_Suns. We appreciate the Freckled Mamba creating games and making all the magic happen behind the Mac. You can follow him at Freckled Mamba. Of course, you can follow Steven, get updates on all of his film breakdowns. Of course, live updates from Mercury practice and shoot around as they try to claw back in the W finals. And of course, he will be out there at Suns practices, shoot arounds, and covering the team during the season. So he must follow.
No Suns stuff until they come back stateside.
Yeah, they are in China.
There was just no way logistically to make that work for media.
We couldn't get him out to China. We tried. They said no. He said you're too smart. You can follow him for all the updates on the team though at Steven.
I was trying to kill you with
PG3.
China book. That's all.
You can follow me at Steven with a PH, by the way, because he balances us out. You can follow me at Erik RUBY, not just covering Suns, but Sun Devils as well, number 21 team in the country. Got some Cardinals takes off too, so if you want to come argue with me, you can do it at Erik RUBY. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll name some dudes, maybe we won't. There's only one way to find out.
We all silly like the mayor.